because of some industries production leads to pollute the environment. It is not only ends with the pollution of environment, that leads to, or that will cause to some other effects, impact on the health of the people. So to solve the problem of this pollution issues, the government has to spend some welfare schemes. The government has to spend some money, or some kind of money, or some kind of investment for public health, or providing water facilities, providing primary healthcare centers. So like that, the government has to spend some amount of money that will be termed as a social cost. And the why that social cost is arising? Because of pollution is made by the some of the industrial pollutant. And industries, they want to enhance their production, or they want to generate income and employment, so that they are investing some money, and their investment is the private cost. So one private cost, or either one firm or industry, they are making some private cost to produce goods and services. That is not only producing the goods and services from their industries, it is also producing the externalities, or it is producing the waste. And because of that, some peoples are affected, environmental quality is getting affected. Then it will be called as for that purpose, the government has to spend some money for the society. That is called as social cost. That is an understanding of the social cost. And social benefit, how the social benefit can be reached. While the consumers or the public, when they consume social commodities, especially the public goods, what we have various public goods. We have like public parks, public hospital, government schools, government roads. The government is providing water, metro water facilities at free of cost, and the government is providing street lights. These are all be termed as the public good. So the government is collecting some amount of taxes from the pollutants, and they are spending, or they are making public expenditure on this public goods to get the benefit of the people, to receive the for the benefit of the people, so that the people will get the social benefits from these public goods. So this is the idea of social cost and the social benefit. From social cost, the government will spend some amount of money to the society for the welfare due to the pollution caused by the private industries, or any kind of those who are either industry or even agriculture also. Sometimes they will produce pollution, air pollution, while they are burning all agricultural waste. That also will lead to the pollution. So while they're addressing the problem of pollution, or giving them some solution to this problem, the government has to spend some money as an expenditure for the benefit of the public. That is public expenditure for welfare schemes due to the pollution. That is social cost. And social benefit is how much the benefit the common people will receive from public goods and the government expenses, public expenses on the promotion on free goods or public goods, or to the spendings on the schools, government schools and government colleges, and government hospitals, and including public parks. So this is what they will get the benefits from the government expenditure. That is the social benefit received from the common goods or public goods. Now we have to understand what is this externality, how this externality arrives, and what are the impact of this externality, what type of externalities we have. That is what today we are going to discuss. And after that, we are going to identify and address the social marginal benefit, social marginal benefit or social maximum benefit. So before that, we have to understand what is externality. The externality is a concept usually used in public economics and environmental economics to address the problem of pollution caused by one individual and to the third party. I'll once again repeat, externality is a concept used in public economics and environmental economics. The one individual is causing polluting, because of that the third party or the other people will impact of this pollution. It is called as externality. If we take an example of how one individual's economic activity, either it may be a production or it may be a consumption, that is going to affect the third party. Normally, we will take an example of, suppose, the production. Both will take example of production and consumption. Production, if we take, one individual is producing some commodity. For example, I am an individual. I am producing electricity from my electricity firm, electricity industry. For making the electricity, I required raw material of coal. So I am buying so much of coal and I am heating, and through heating I'm generating the electricity. While treating and heating the coal, it produces lot of waste, coal waste. That is, maybe it comes in two forms. One is through the industrial emission from my firm, my industry, and secondly, it also produces solid waste in the form of the coal waste. So the coal waste, I'll put it out in the nearby waste land or nearby land wherever it is available, and the emission, it is automatically come out from the industry. Because of my production, and I am earning some good amount of profit from production of electricity by using the coal, while it is also producing CO2 emission from industry, and it is also producing effluent, that is called as the liquid and the solid form of waste from electrical industries. So that is also comes out. Because of this, the nearby villages, those who are breathing problems, those who are inhaling that CO2 emission, they are getting the breathing problem. They are getting some lungs issues because of my industrial emission, and because of my industrial pollution, solid waste, the nearby water bodies and groundwater is affected. So that the people who was used to drink that particular water, they are also affected due to the polluted water caused by my industry. For that purpose, that is called as, if they are affecting means, that is called as negative externality. Because of my production, because of my industry, the third party, those who are not involved in my industry, those who are not involved in my company or production, the third party is affecting due to the health diseases because of my industrial pollution. this concept is called as externality. In this, but very particularly, it is negative externality because it is negatively it is impacting. Then what is positive externality? In the same way, suppose I am planting some instead of opening up an industry, the same place, when I am planting some 100 trees and the fruit trees. So because of the fruit trees, fruit will come, and that I am only going to plug out and I am going to sell it in the market. But because of I planted some 100 trees, the nearby villages getting rainfall because of my trees. Secondly, the village people are getting the pure oxygen from the oxygen generated from my trees. For that, I am not going to charge anything because of my action, my economic activity. I am going to get the profit out of it, but the others also, nearby community, third party also is getting the benefit of getting the good oxygen and the shadow, and sometimes they will also get fruit, and so many birds will come and they will also plug out some fruits and put it nearby places. The new trees also will come. So this is all I am, my business or my economic activity leads to going to impact on the others. How it is impacting? It is impacting on a positive way. That is called as positive externalities. Negative externalities, it is negatively impacting. Positive externalities, positively impacting the people because of individual action or individual economic activity. Is this clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Only one S is coming. What about remaining 51 students? Am I audible? All?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Okay. I'll call Shashikant, MSc Shashikant.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Shashikant, you understood the concept of externality?
Sir, actually, I'm not able to hear your voice. I think it's my phone problem, but I'm not able to hear clear. Sir.
Okay, you do some technical corrections and follow the class. Okay.
Hello.
I'll ask someone. Gerard Jacob?
Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Yes, Gerard. Can you please tell me what is your understanding on negative externality or in general externality?
Sir, when it comes to negative externalities, the impact turns out to be negative.
What kind of impact? What example we have shared? Production impact or consumption?
The cost and the related concepts related to those.
Okay. I'll repeat once again, Gerard.
Yes, sir.
I'll repeat once again for all of you. Please put your attention. In general, externality means one individual action, either it may be a production or consumption that leads to affect the third parties. Third party means unknown people. Suppose I am an industrialist, I am opening one power plant. From my industry, there is a lot of pollutions are coming out, And for my industry, I am producing whatever I am producing, it is gives profit for me. But because of the pollution is comes out from my company, it is affecting the common people who is living in nearby my industry. Because of that, they will be affecting due to the health issues due to the pollution. They are affecting. They have been affected. Their health has been affected due to pollution. Such kind of impact is called as externality. You got it, Jacob? Gerard?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Suppose when my production, instead of industry, I'm planting so much of trees in the same land. Instead of going for industry, I'm planting so much of trees in that same plant. So that plant, the trees is giving so much of oxygen to the, yes, of course, from the trees I'm getting the fruits, so that I'm selling and getting the profit. But it is not only giving the profit for me, and it is also going to impact on the common people. How it is going to impact? Because the local people, they are going to get good oxygen from my trees, and they'll also get some shadows from trees, so that they are getting the good air quality, and so that their health is improved. And such kind of impact is called as positive externalities. If impact is negative, then it is negative externality. If because of my production, if it is provides a positive impact to the common people, to the third party, it is called as positive externality. I will also give one more example. Is everyone with me? Can I go for one more example?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Suppose one tea shop is there. In the tea shop or petty shop, so many consumers are they're coming and buying some commodities. In the same petty shop, if somebody is using cigarettes and they're smoking, they are the consumers, they are consuming cigarettes, and in case there is a probability of getting some health issues for the cigarette smoker, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. But what will happen, because of the smoking, the non-smokers who comes to that particular shop or who's walking onto that particular road, they will also probability of getting some disease, because of the one individual consumption is impacting the health of the others. What kind of externality it is?
Negative externalities.
Negative externalities. Suppose I'm not, we'll go for one positive externality. Suppose I'm not a cigarette manufacturer, but I am the, I'm started having the a dairy farming, so that I'm producing milk, so that because of the milk I'm giving, I'm supplying milk to the people at a reasonable cost. While consuming the milk, people's health status will improve. Because of my production and sale leads to improvise the health of the people. When the people's health improved means their potential to work will improve. Then their income level will improve. Is this a positive impact or negative impact?
Positive impact.
So because of this, some positive externality is happening to the next person, and it is also providing a good income generation for their family. So that positive externality is happening. So in every consumption, every production, or every usage of goods and services, that will either makes positive externality or negative externality. But what we need to do, we have to identify if it is providing positive externality that is good for the society. That means the social cost will reduce. The government need not worry about it because there is no negative externality. Suppose if it is negative externality is happening, the government has to control the negative externalities from the production and consumption. That is why for if you buy milk per liter, the tax rate is 0. Tax rate is 0. Even some state government, they are providing subsidy for the consumption of milk. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. If you take an example of the dairy milk dairy company like Avin, Nandini, that is all government owned enterprises. They are providing subsidy for the milk consumption. But any government is providing subsidy for cigarettes?
No, sir.
Why? Why?
It is affecting the health of the people.
It is not only if affecting the consumers of that particular product, it is also affecting the third party. Common people also it is affecting. That is why they are imposing, the government is, the public policy is imposing more taxes for such kind of commodities. And what they will do, they will collect that particular money by imposing more 30% taxes, 40% taxes. They will impose more taxes and they will collect those taxes. They will use it for marginal social cost. I mean, they'll use for the social cost. They can construct hospitals. They can construct some rehabilitation centers. That is all the government will spend by collecting the taxes from these commodities. So this is the overall idea about the negative externalities and positive externalities. So the externality, the term used in economics, refers to the cost incurred or the benefit received by the third party. When the cost will incur, if it is a negative externalities. When the benefit will incur, when there is a positive externality. When I am started business industry, that will create a cost for the society. When I am planting more trees, that will give benefit to the third party, wherein such a third party does not have control over the generation of the cost and benefits. So third party, they will not have a control over the generation of cost and benefits, because the cost and benefits mostly incurred by the society, that means the government. The externality can be positive or negative, as we discussed, and may rise from the production and consumption of the goods and services. When we produce commodities and consume commodities, there will be a negative externalities. It can be either private or social. The negative externality, as I told, it may be private or social. As I told, in case because my private cost, some third party is affecting, because of my industry, some third party is affecting. From the third party, if they are affected due to that pollution, one side the government is spending some money on the establishment of government hospitals, and along with that, the private also has to bear some kind of cost. Now I'll tell you one example how sometimes the usage of commodities also will create negative externalities. Suppose if you are using car to reach college, or if someone is using a car, four-wheeler to reach the office or college, whether it gives positive externality or negative externality. Monisha, 19HU2K1044, Monisha, can you unmute and answer the question? Meenakshi R. Meenakshi R. Sonal Yadav. Because if they're not responding, then I'll mark absent. And one more information I want to share you. Some of the students, they have attended for the last few classes, they have attended only for 30 minutes, 25 minutes. Minimum you require to be there in the classes for 40 minutes. If less than 40 minutes, it will be considered as absent, and henceforth you don't come and ask me. That is very strict instruction. Every classes, few students, they have attended only for less than 40 minutes. Not many, some students. Okay. That is already I have marked as absent. So henceforth, you please be cautious on that.
What?
Yes.
So can you hear me now?
Yes, Monisha. Yes.
Sorry for the delays. I was not able to unmute myself.
Yes, please. I asked the question. Did you got my question?
Sir, no, sir. No, sir.
Okay, I'll repeat once again. If someone is using their car for reaching the office or college, do they making what kind of externality? Is a positive externality or negative externality? Using of car. Monisha, you are muted. Unmute yourself and talk.
Sir, negative, sir.
Good. Can you please tell me what is negative externality?
Yes, sir.
You told yes and muted. Monisha, you muted. Sanjay?
Sir.
Uh,
Sir.
Sanjay, driving a car is positive externality or negative externality?
Sir, to the college, it is a negative externality.
How it is negative externality?
Sir, first of all, it doesn't have any use to others, and there it is a pollution also. It causes pollution.
Yes, very good. Then?
And then, sir, I think that's the part for negative externalities.
Yeah. So when we are using car, that will generate negative externality through generating CO2 emission from a car, smoke, and it is also create congestion.
Yes, yes.
So that is also one of the negative externality. Okay, okay, Monisha, your answer is taken. Okay, so if someone is using this public transport, that will be a positive externality, because of that we are not going to generate any kind of pollution as an individual. But when we are individually, when we are taking the car, so that we create more pollution, so that we are the reason for the polluting the environment, and that leads to health impact of the common people. So externality may be classified into positive and negative. Accordingly, an externality may not or might not affect the organization that causes the externality. Why the word is coined as externality? Because of when I'm using car, when I'm producing electricity, when I'm doing any kind of production and consumption, it is not only may or may not affect, because internal staffs also from the industry may affect it, but that may affect or may not affect, but it is good, it is fine, because we are the pollutant. But why unnecessarily others who was not involved in your business, or they are the common people, when their external people are getting affected either by positive or negative? If it is positive, then it is good, you're doing good for the nation, good for the public. Then if it is a negative externality, then the external people, third party is affecting, that is called as negative externality. The word is coined based on that only, that is why it is externality. Externality word, because the external people, external public, third parties getting affected due to your production and consumption. Now we'll see some of the examples of positive externality. We'll also see what is the definition of positive externality. The positive externality occurs when the consumption or the production of a good, when the consumption and production, both we need to check. Consumption and production of a good causes a benefit to the third party. When I'm consuming, it has to give some benefit to the society. When I'm producing some goods and services, that has to provide some benefit to the society or to the third party externally. When you consume an education, you get a private benefit, but there are also benefits to the rest of the society. You are able to educate the people, and therefore they benefit as a result of your education. That is a positive consumption or positive consumption externality. Suppose if one person is educated, then they can, after the education, after their graduation, after their post-graduation, they can able to educate the uneducated people. So that is one of the, when you're consuming the education, that leads to the educate the others. So others will get benefit out of your education. And a farmer who grows apple tree provides a benefit to a beekeeper. See, that is also a very good example, because when we are when you are making your garden as beautiful, that gives so many flowers, so that somebody who is having nearby your house or nearby your residence, somebody who is also doing some kind of beekeeping, so that they are producing honey, so easily they will get honey from your garden flowers. But if you don't have garden flowers, then they will not get the honey from their own beekeepers. The beekeepers won't get. And if you walk to a work, it will reduce the congestion and pollution. As I told, when you use the four-wheeler, that will create congestion, traffic, and also creates CO2 emission to the society. But when you walk to the office or college, it will reduce the congestion, pollution, and traffic. This will benefit everyone in the society. So these are all, any kind of economic activity, any kind of production activity, any kind of consumption activity, which generates a positive impact to the external third party, then it will be considered as positive externality. And as I told, the production of dairy farming, production of animal husbandry, this all will produce a positive externality to the others, including education. You can educate others. So these are all the best examples of positive externalities. Then We'll also see some examples of negative externalities. So the negative externalities occurs cost, positive externalities which will give benefit to the society, whereas the negative externalities which occurs or which imposes cost to the third parties when the consumption or production of a good causes a harmful effect to the third party. Because when it is harmful to the, when somebody is smoking cigarettes, that will harmful to the third party, and third party is affecting. Third party has to spend some cost for the treatment, or else they have to buy a mask. Previously, when they are coming for this petty shop, they won't use to buy, they won't use mask. Nowadays, they have to come up with mask because they want to avoid inhaling that smoke, so that they have to spend some 30 rupees on mask. So that is a negative externality. Likewise, any kind of spending, either it's for the health related spending or any kind of precautionary measures spending, cost due to the consumption, production of other people to the third party, it is called as negative externality. Negative externality. And this, some of the examples of negative externality: loud music, because if when you're studying for examination, if the next house they are having marriage or some other occasion is there, if they are using their loudspeakers in a very large volume, then it will affect your studies. So that creates negative externality. And the neighbors could not able to sleep, that is also a negative externality. And the old people, those who are living, they'll also get affected due to this over sound and sound pollution. That is also a negative externality. And pollution is created by the industries. That is also a negative externality. And for example, one more indirect negative externality: when somebody is polluting the nearby rivers by putting out their waste into the river, is some group of fishermen, they are depends upon the catching of fishes from the rivers. But unfortunately, what will happen, because of this, the affluent is discharged into the rivers, that is created the rivers become polluted, so that the number of fishes has been reduced, or sometimes they become zero because the water has become poisoning. So many families, they depend upon catching the fish from that. That is also creating negative externalities. And congestion, because when everybody started using four-wheeler, that will create congestion to the society. It creates so much of smoke and congestion in traffic. Because of the traffic, instead of putting per month 10 liter of petrol, they have to spend 11 liter of petrols because of the unnecessary waste. So that is also a congestion cost or the negative externality cost. Building a new road, if you build a new road, the external cost is the loss of a beautiful landscape which people can no longer enjoy. Because whenever you construct a buildings, when you construct a new road, 4-ways road or 8-ways road, when the government is constructing bridges, dams, they need to cut so much of trees, and they will be removing so much of landscape. I mean, the landscape has become roads or dam bridges, so that people who has enjoyed that previously with a good air of the trees, they will also lose that benefit. So that is also a negative externality. So these are all the best examples of understanding the negative externalities. Now we'll see one more chart for understanding the negative externalities of driving a car to work. Up to this, everyone is clear? If you have any questions, I'll give you 1 minute. If anyone is having any doubts, clarification, you can ask me before we are proceeding into the chart discussion of the chart. M. Praveen Kumar. All of you enable your video. Students, I asked you to enable your video. If you can't hear my voice, one more time I will tell you. I don't know whether I'm audible to you or not. Students, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Who told yes? Again disappeared. Gerard has opened video. Is good. So I don't know why the problem of obeying has happened to your class, the whole class, except a few. Everyone is having network issue? No, if you have network issue, please put your answer to the chat box. I could not able to open the video. Network issue. Some input, if you give only, I can able to understand. Okay, if you are not ready to, anyone is only few, apart from few. Fine. So we'll move on to the next level, the externalities of driving a car to work. It has two different costs. One is cost to the third party, and second one is cost incurred by the individual user. The cost incurred by an individual user is termed as personal cost, and the cost which is created for the third party is called as negative externalities cost, or the cost to the third party. While driving a car to work, the personal cost involved to the individual is the fuel cost and buying a car. After buying a car, which involves some level of personal cost, and putting the petrol, filling the petrol, which also involve personal cost. And while driving the car by using the car by putting the petrol, the individual is generating CO2 emission, carbon dioxide emission from the car. Secondly, the risk of accident, this is the probability, and this is 100% will happen, pollution will happen, and it is also risk of accident. and third one is the congestion. The congestion will also happen. So because of this private cost or the personal cost of the consumers of car or users of car will generate some pollution or negative externalities. These all three are negative externalities: pollution of environment, risk of accident to the third party, and the problems occurred due to congestion for the third party, for the common people. This all is called as negative externalities. So because of the personal cost, there will be a cost to the third party, that is called as the social cost. And what is they are going to benefit? Nothing they are going to benefit because of this cost. And the government has to take necessary steps to control this pollution. That is, emission checkup is there, and risk of accident. They are also using the traffic policeman, CCTV cameras, then traffic rules, and reduce the congestion. They are also trying for reducing the congestion to reduce the use of cars and increase the use of two-wheelers and use of public transport, so that they can able to reduce the congestion, so that the negative externality can be reduced and the third party cost also will reduce. This is called as the example for the measuring the externalities happens through driving a car to work, and that generates the personal cost, generates the social cost. Up to this, I'll stop here. We'll continue in the next class. Thank you, students.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.